Hello and welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of Monday, June 7th to Sunday, June 13th. Now, we are in the midst of eclipse season, and we're coming into a massive second eclipse. So eclipses come in pairs, and why it's called an eclipse is that we have a new moon or full moon close to the nodes of the moon. And in astrology, the nodes of the moon really talk about our karmic past and our karmic destiny. And so the nodes of the moon in your chart for your own astrology would talk about where your karmic destiny is moving you to. And what is the mess that becomes your message? Or what are some of the life lessons that you're bringing into this lifetime that propel you into your greatness? So the nodes of the moon move about 18 months, and they kind of move backwards, which is kind of a weird thing, but I won't get into that on here. But in essence, the nodes of the moon right now are in Gemini and Sagittarius. So a couple weeks ago, we had a full moon in Sagittarius, a super full moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. And that was all about the south node of the moon, which is where we are moving away from. What are we trying to change? What are we trying to release to come into the new world, our evolution as a collective? So Sagittarius is about the law. It is about information. It is cultures. It is long distance. It is bigger picture, the connection between the earth and the divine, so to speak. So it's kind of elevating information. And Gemini, which is what this eclipse is going to be this week, is in the North Node, where our karmic destiny, where we're trying to get to. And so Gemini is all about information, communication. It is a very communicative sign. It's curious. There's a lot of, sort of a jack of all trades with Gemini. They are very mutable. They'd like to move and flow with information and situations, and they really like to kind of go where they're in, where their mind will take them, so to speak. So, almost down that rabbit hole. So that's where the solar eclipse is coming in this week. So as we start off the week, Monday, no major aspects earlier in this week, but the one day that kind of stood out to me was Monday. And Monday we have a conjunction, the moon conjunct to Uranus. So that's explosive. That can be a little bit unexpected situations coming in. And the moon is our emotions. It's our feelings. It's the way we connect to each other. And so that can feel a little bit disruptive. And then there's also a square to Saturn to the moon. So this is about our responsibilities and feeling constricted. Whenever the moon is square to Saturn, we can feel very depressive. We can feel held down by our responsibilities. So long and short of it is Monday, if you're watching it today, not a great day for a big to-do list, okay? You're just not going to feel like you want to do things, or it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And of course, Mercury is retrograde right now. So hello, unexpected things coming into your beingness, and you just got to flow with it, right? Especially Mercury is retrograde in Gemini. So this is also about communication going a little bit awry. We're not being heard properly, or maybe there's a lot of gossip. Like I said, the square to Neptune in previous weeks, although it's not square to Neptune. Well, yeah, it will be this week too. So definitely really being cautious about the information you're taking in as true. And, when you're making decisions, Gemini is also the twins, right? Is it this or that? Trying to figure out the different sides of our personality and different choices that we have to make, which is going to be a big theme this week. So Monday, not great for to-do lists. Really a day that you need to have self-compassion, low mood, low energy on this day. So if you're feeling like not doing a lot, it's okay. Don't plan a lot for Monday is what I'm going to say. All right. And then as we come into the first major aspect this week is Thursday. So we kind of have this like nothingness going on, and we still have the ones behind the scene that are kind of the aspects that are affecting the week, which is Saturn square to Uranus. Now, Saturn square Uranus is coming to become a major player in June. So June is going to be one of the more trying months for the collective. And we're already seeing this information coming to light, right? All these buried secrets coming up. And, it's becoming more as part of the collective. We're going to see more of that coming up. Now, one of the things with Saturn square Uranus, so Uranus is the great awakener, and it's in Taurus, which is a fixed sign, and it's the earth. And then Saturn is in Aquarius, which is about elevating the collective consciousness. And so there's this kind of this dichotomy between the two. Number one, Saturn is about responsibility, but now it's responsibility to the collective, and how can we elevate consciousness? And then Uranus is actually the ruling planet to Aquarius, and it's about change. It's a great change maker. It wants newness. Saturn is about tradition and the patriarchy and government and structures that are existing. It's the old white man. That's Saturn. And Uranus is the change maker. And Uranus, though, sitting in Taurus, is about the earth. So there's this dichotomy that's coming up here, and it's going to become exact on June 14th. So that pressure is going to amp up, because what's happened is, as Uranus is sitting in the sky, Saturn has come to square it. So it'll be a 90-degree angle as a square in astrology. And then it moved past it. And then now it's retrograding back to that square position again. So we saw a glimpse of what this was going to be. And this is why I love astrology, is because it's cyclical. There is ways to predict events. And that's why I love that. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know what to expect? I want to know what to expect. I'm a Virgo. I want to be on top of everything. I want to control everything. And of course, control is a fallacy. And I'm moving past those life lessons in this lifetime. But what I'm going to say to you is, we had a glimpse of what this is going to look like on June 14th back in February. And the exact date, I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget, February 17th. So February 17th, if you look back, so if you are a journaler, this will be helpful, because you can look to see what was happening in that week of the 17th in February. And that was going to come up now again in a new light. So retrograde just means it's internalized. So Saturn, which is our responsibility, our structures, our duty in this lifetime, it's authority figures, it is father time. So that is going to come up. Those themes are going to come up again here on June 14th. And it's going to come up in terms of like, are you learning the lesson? Are you seeing it in a new way now? Whatever was happening on the 17th. So look back in your calendar, look back in your life, what was happening on the 17th. You're going to see it in a new way now, almost with new eyes on June 14th. So there's this, kind of this lovely cycle that plays out. And then, so Saturn's going retrograde, and it's going to hit that square point again, and then it's going to come back down again, and it's going to hit that point one more time, and we're going to see it play out in our lives one more time and in the collective. And that will be on December 24th. Interesting. It's Christmas Eve that we're going to see that come into play again. Now, again, to just kind of to make this super clear, it's the old versus the new. These are these old regimes breaking up and the new people coming in to shift it. This is revolution. This is change. This is, it can be the, makings of war. Although I feel like things aren't that hot right now in the collective. China is kind of sitting in a bit of a hot spot right now, with this whole coronavirus, and did it originate there? And then they have a bunch of our Canadians there in jail awaiting trial for years. That justice system is weird. So we're definitely seeing China playing out here as kind of the bad guy on the global scale, and then Russia also playing out as a global, villain, a little bit hacking into the U.S. government stuff and all that's been coming up as well. Russia and China seem to be these powers that are, in the Western world, possibly, kind of hot behind the scenes. But so far, diplomatic channels are good, and, no makings of war. So I would say no to that. But definitely there's going to be that playing out for the next couple of weeks. Actually, the whole year, the whole year. It is a aspect that's making 2021 what it is. So Thursday, June 10th, is now this new moon solar eclipse, and it's in Gemini. So this means the new moon means the moon and the sun are at the exact same degree, which is 19 degrees of Gemini. And anyone born along that date, it's going to be a super year of new beginnings. I'm going to tell you, I had the new moon on my birthday last year, And it's been a bit of a turbulent beginnings. Lots of great beginnings, but also beginnings that require a lot of work. So if you have your birthday on or around the new moon, that means it's a time of new beginnings for you in the year. And if you have your birthday on or around a time of a full moon, it means things are tying off. It's kind of culminations. All your hard work is paying off for you. So the full moon birthdays tend to be really great years ushering in, and the new moon birthdays tend to mean a new cycle. And what happens with a new cycle? It's a lot of work. You're putting down foundations, you're creating new things in your life. So something to keep in mind for your birthday this year. All right, so Thursday, new moon solar eclipse in Gemini at 4:53 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I always say it Mountain Standard Time because everyone says it in Pacific or Eastern Standard, and it drives me crazy. We matter here too in the Mountain Standard Time regime. So this full moon, this new moon is a solar eclipse. So that means it is closest to one of the nodes of the moon, and it is closest to, and I mentioned this earlier, to the north node of the moon. So this is about ushering in a future. This is going to be about information coming in. And I feel like a lot of information is going to come to light because this new moon is going to be conjunct, which means next to in astrology, to Mercury. And Mercury is the planet of the mind, and it is communication, it is thought processes, it is relationships. So there is this feeling of, communication, it's siblings as well. So having this, communication be the standard, like Mercury rules Gemini, number one. So that's a big, like, not only is it part of this new moon, it's next to the new moon, and it rules Gemini, and it's in retrograde. So what does that mean? It feels like because of the other aspects in this eclipse, there's going to be some confusion. You are going to be, in a nutshell, I'll just sum it up in a nutshell. You want to become the observer of your inner thoughts, your inner dialogue. You really want to be aware of what are you saying? What are you thinking? And then put that thinking into motion. There's going to be a trine to Saturn here, which means there's an opportunity for you to take action towards your responsibilities. Now, a new moon is a time where you set your intention, and then the days following you start to take action. Because there's no light in the new moon, you don't really want to action it before the light comes together. So you really kind of want to wait 2 or 3 days before you start to action it. But it's a great time to intention and kind of set the plan. What does it look like? What could it look like? What's the future here? So you've already been having these ideas. You have had ideas about where you want to go, what you want to do, but you are feeling like, I feel like you talk yourself out of it. That's a bit intuitive, but it's also supported here because it's square to Neptune. There is this square to Neptune, which means we're confused, we're deluded. We feel like, who are we to choose this? Or maybe you're hearing people tell you, don't follow your dream, be happy with what you have. And I hear that so much from my clients. They have this feeling like something's not right in their life. They're not happy doing what they're doing, but yet they should be lucky, right? People say you should feel so lucky. I used to have an amazing job where I was a sales rep in the food industry. I worked from home, got a car allowance. They paid for my gas, like they paid for my internet. I was making really good money. I had relationships with amazing people. I was always out for lunch, taking somebody out for lunch. My paychecks were great, and I wasn't happy. And I kept thinking to myself, am I crazy? Am I crazy? I should feel so happy. I've got money in the bank. I got a job where I'm really appreciated. I had a great boss at the time. I had a good life. But there was something here that wasn't fulfilled. And every time I did this kind of work, or I'm a medium as well, or I did my psychic work, or I was helping people with like coming to terms with grief, I'm a grief counselor as well. I felt so fulfilled. I was making a difference in people's lives, not selling food and making somebody who was already rich even more rich. I was changing lives in my sole purpose. And that changed everything because I realized I had to step into it. This is why I came here. I didn't come here to make some guy rich. I came here to help the world elevate. I help people through grief. I help people understand their intuition. That was my sole purpose. So this full moon, this new moon is planting the seeds for you to start to action that information that's been rolling around in your mind, that you are now like, what if, what could it be? And it doesn't have to be like what my story is. You know, maybe it's like that dream that you've been wanting to do, or taking up a new skill, or having a relationship with somebody that fills your heart, but you've been so scared to do it because the pandemic and you haven't been dating for a while. Whatever it is on your heart, this new moon is giving you the oomph to do it. Because why else are you here? Why else are you here? You're here to live your soul purpose. You are here to live what is in your heart. That heart is your compass, and that intuition is your compass. They work together. Your mind is not your compass. Your mind is the filter, and it filters out your intuition. It filters out your heart because it is scared. It is designed to keep you safe. That is this Gemini new moon. It's asking you to appreciate that lovely ego and brain and become the observer of your thoughts, observe your talking to yourself, and becoming aware of your choices in life, choices in life, and starting to move into those choices. Do something that you love. Start to move into those actions. Start to take actions towards those dreams and ideas. And then there's this old versus the new still, that Saturn square to Uranus, that's going to be breaking up those old ideas, old beliefs. What can we move out of to get into? What do you have? What beliefs and values do you have to get rid of in order to step into the highest and truest version of you? And I bet you it is because somebody said you weren't smart enough, you should be happy, the should of shame, right? All of those things. Let's let that go at this new moon eclipse. Now, there's a square to Neptune, and it's giving us this ability to tap into our intuition, to tap into our soul. But with a square, it's always stressed. There's a stress with that. So maybe people told you your mind is overthinking things, or people told you you shouldn't do these things. There's also a misinformation at this new moon as well. So be careful of gossip. Be careful of, what is true and what is not. What are conspiracy theories circulating on the web? Somebody that I used to follow, just recently unfollowed, shared a article on the mRNA vaccine, and some of the things that were said in this, it was a video, I just felt like it didn't seem like it was true. So I went down the rabbit hole, thank you Gemini season, to researching it, and this guy was using old research from 2012 to substantiate his incorrect, statements that the vaccine is going to kill everybody. And I'm just like, what? Like, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Government agencies, like people, doctors, scientists who have researched this, is approving this vaccine for people. Now, I don't think it's anybody's business whether you want to get it or not, but I think there's these facts that are out there that you're just got to question that, right? And so I was like, oh, that's misinformation. That's interesting. And I was going to put a little post on there, and I realized everybody on there was like, this is amazing. And I'm like, mine's just going to get lost, and or I'll get attacked. And to what benefit? These people don't care that this research is old. It is just feeding their mindset that this is not a good thing. And that's fine, right? Eventually, everyone will find out the truth about this. That will come to light when 50 years from now, everybody's fine and nobody's getting sick, or, the vaccine's working, whatever. We'll figure that out as we go along. I really believe in science, and I really believe that our government is here to support us. So I believe in that. Now, another explosive thing happening on Thursday is Mars is opposite Pluto. This is very explosive, and this has kind of been happening all week. So Mars is in Cancer at the very last degree, 29 degrees of Cancer. It is making us so sensitive at this new moon. So if you are feeling weepy, if you are feeling like crying, if you're feeling triggered, if you just want to go within and stay in your house, that is totally normal for this moon because that Mars is right at that last degree. Whenever a planet moves to the last degree of a sign, it is so much that sign that it's actually embodying all the negative traits of that sign. Or it's if you can think about it, it's that sign amped up, not in balance. So Mars is going to be not in balance at this new moon at 29 degrees of Cancer, and it's going to be opposite Pluto at the 26 degrees of Capricorn. So what that means is explosive violence, battle of wills, right? I want to do this thing. Pluto is about obsession. It is power. It is revolution. Evolution is Uranus. It is death and transformation, right? And Mars is our motivation, our desires, our aggression. But it's in this soft, sweet sign of Cancer. And so it's like when it's when there's a battle of wills, what happens? Cancer people just like go within. They cry. They take it on as something bad that's on themselves versus an Aries person would be like, screw you. I'm going to fight you, right? So is this going to be an explosive fighting moon? No, this is going to feel like all this internalized talk and people's values and beliefs being projected on you. That's going to come up in this new moon. And make sure not to overdo things. It's called an in-conjunct to Jupiter during this time, and Jupiter has moved into the second degree of Pisces at this new moon. Now, proceed with caution, don't overdo things, loss of enthusiasm. You may not feel recognized for your efforts, and your efforts may trigger someone else because they think, oh, why is she acting like that? Why is she trying so hard? Yeah. Anyways, a sort of a side note to this, Jupiter moving into, or we call that ingress in astrology, into Pisces. Pisces rules gas and oil. So the things that come out of the ground as if bubbling mysteriously. So those with Jupiter, whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. And so there could be, and this makes sense to me. So I'm going to say this is a prediction that I feel very strongly will come true, is gas prices are going to skyrocket. And the reason for that is when you think about what the gas prices were before the pandemic, when everybody was driving and roads were busy and everybody was out and about, the gas prices haven't really dropped that much when the pandemic hit. And then there was that tanker that got stuck in the Suez Canal, and then they jacked the price there. And I'm just like, who's using this gas? They're jacking the price of it because this oil tanker got stuck. I mean, yes, there was a lot of backup of boats, but they cleared that within 24, 48 hours, which I knew that would happen. But I almost sort of feel like there's like as soon as there's some reason to jack the prices on oil and gas, they'll do it. They do it because they want to make the money. So when everyone's going to start to get back into work again and go back into jobs and all that, we're going to see a spike in gas, and it's going to go high, like higher than it's ever been before. And there's going to be no freaking reason for it. It's just going to happen. Now, Jupiter is going to go retrograde here later in the month. So it's going to stay retrograde until October. And there's 3 planets that are going direct in October. So there's going to be a massive shift of energy in October. So something to take note of as well. All right, Friday, June 14th, Mars is moving into Leo, right? So it moved out of those last degrees of Cancer into Leo. This is a fiery fixed sign. So Mars is going to feel like we as a collective are going to feel we want to be social. Leos are social. We want to feel bougie and good about ourselves. And of course, everything's opening up now. This is about connection. This is about creativity, self-expression, love. So if you are somebody who is looking for love or single at this point in time, this could be the season for you to explore that, of course, COVIDly during this time. Mars is proud, self-confident, grand. We feel expressive and creative, self-assured, not worried about the details. Leo wants to go and do. It's fire, right? It's fire, and it's just excited to go and do things. And then it's not really worried about the details of things. We go after what we want, lots of passion, and it's sexy time. So that's really nice. Sunday, June 13th, Venus is sextile to Uranus. This is sudden falling in love, needing for fun and excitement, sudden meetings with people that are aligned, must buy something new. or something exciting or something we want. So be careful on this day. There's some other things here on Sunday. Venus is in conjunct Saturn. We're feeling our financial relationship is a pinch. So there's some insecurity about money or our relationships, what we love and value. So this can be a time when we're feeling not great about our money and we're trying to placate our not feeling good about ourselves. Even Venus is about ourselves, and maybe wanting to do something that's wild and crazy to kind of zhuzh it up, and then you might regret it. Mercury retrograde, don't make any major decisions now, especially like cutting your hair or doing major changes to, altering your look, because you could really regret it. And then there's also a sun square to Neptune on this day. Now, Neptune again in this relationship here makes us feel like we're not enough, or maybe we're second guessing ourselves. We're not connecting to our intuition when it's in a square. It's not in ease. The two planets are not flowing together, and the sun rules our individuality. So on Sunday, not a great day to do anything major, buy anything major, have any major conversations with people. Really, you could be feeling very sensitive on this day, and just really going over what is it that you love and value, and knowing, please know that you are worthy of everything you want. You're worthy of everything you want. So this might be a relationship that came up that is now not doing so well. And you're like, oh, like, when am I ever going to find the guy or girl and with them? And that's okay. Like, everything in divine time, everything in divine time. If you don't believe me, I'm going to challenge you to watch the show Indian Matchmaker on Netflix. And I'll tell you, they use Vedic astrology to match people. It's true story of what happens in India still to this day. But when the time is right, everything opens up. It's true. So that's why I love astrology, because you can kind of surf the waves of energy and realize when it's your time, everything's just going to fall into alignment. And everything that's happened has happened divinely timed to get you to where you are now. Like, it's just wild, the intelligence of the universe. It's amazing. So a little bit long this week. I hope this helps you really understand this week coming up here. It's a powerful one with this, eclipse. Eclipse season is always powerful. And eclipse season lasts for 6 months. So these seeds that are planting now, and just a little side note, the seed that's planted on the new moon on June 10th will come to fruition on December 18th. So I would put on December 18th on your calendar the intention that you're setting now, whatever it is, to follow that thinking that you have been thinking about rolling around in your mind, and you're just going to do it. You're just going to go for it. You're going to put it into motion and start planning for it. And maybe it's a big trip that you've been wanting to take. I know we can't really travel if you're here in Canada, can't really travel just yet, but that is going to come. So plan it for next year, right? Or plan it for a time that as soon as you can pull the trigger and make the change or make the reservations on the stuff, it'll all go. Look up restaurants, look up ideas where you want to go, monuments, plan for it. And then when it's time, you can execute. It's all ready to go. So that's just an example of one thing. So I hope that helps you. Have the best week. Thank you for watching. And please post below what you liked most about this video. I appreciate you. Oh my God, my Mercury, as Virgo, Mercury rules my sign, and I've been trying my hardest to articulate my words. Sometimes it feels like I have marbles in my mouth. So if you're a Virgo that feels like you have marbles in your mouth, I see you. All right, have a good day.